Today, I'm excited to be unboxing the Apple Watch SE. If you've seen the other videos on my channel, you will know that I've done several on the Apple Watch Series 7 as well as the Series 3, which I will leave linked down in the description. And this is where the Apple Watch SE really sits in between those models, both in terms of features as well as price. So let's go ahead and take a look. As always, I will leave all the purchase links down in the description. Alright, so I decided to get the 40mm GPS only version in space gray. As always with the Apple Watch, I tend to go for the smaller screen size as I find this to look more proportionate on my wrist, looking more like a smartwatch or a timepiece rather than a computer or gadget on my wrist. Additionally, I like to go for the darker space gray or midnight. Of course, for the Apple Watch SE, we have the space gray color, as I find this darker color will pair better with more outfits. So from more casual wear up to formal wear as well. So here we go. Just like with all other Apple Watches here, we're just going to open up the box like so. And then we'll fold this open. This is very similar to the experience with the Apple Watch Series 7. And there we go. I love this artwork showing off all the different watch colors as well as the bands. And here we go. So here it is. First of all, we have the actual Apple Watch itself. As you can see, we have this box. We're just going to go ahead and lift up the lid here. And that we will reveal the actual watch itself sitting here in the left. So we have it wrapped in this little paper wrapping, which is different compared to the Series 7 here. We can go ahead and unwrap this. And there we go. That looks great. Oh, it always amazes me how small these things are. And I mean that in only a good way, of course, considering all the technology that is packed into such a tiny product. Right off the bat, though, what definitely stands out to me is the space gray color. I've gotten very used to the midnight color here that we get on the Series 7. As well as on the iPhone 13. So this is kind of a throwback, reminding me more of my previous Apple Watch Series 3. It's a great color as well. But let's go and take a closer look at the watch in a sec here, and let's see what else is included. So here we have that all too familiar Designed by Apple in California booklet, in which we'll find a quick start guide, just a simple one-page pamphlet, as well as your warranty information. No Apple stickers, but I think that's because this is an accessory. I've been trying to figure out over the years what Apple's strategy is with their stickers, whether they include or do not include. But to my knowledge, it seems that as long as the product is an accessory, they will not include them. But it is also a bit of a mystery, so yes. Here we go. So here we also have the charger. Now this charger is a little bit different. So compared to the Series 3, this is actually very similar, except you will get that slightly longer ending port here, and this will also be USB-C compared to USB-A, so we'll make it more compatible with your more current chargers, and of course not compatible if you have any older USB-A iPhone chargers, for example. And then in terms of the puck itself, this will be pretty much the same as what you find on the Series 3. So as you can see, it is not the aluminum version. It just has a plastic back on both sides here. This is where you will rest the watch. And unlike the Series 7, this will not fast charge the watch. So the Series 7 can charge at up to 33% faster, but this will charge just at the same speed as the Series 3, which to be honest is still plenty fast. As typically what I do with my Series 3 is I will just charge it in the morning rather than having to charge it overnight. And then, of course, like with all other Apple Watches that are currently in the lineup, we do not get an actual charger in the box. So this is something you will have to get separately, much like with the iPhone as well. Let's go ahead and take out the watch here. Go ahead and place that down. And take a look at this second box. So this here houses the band. Now, of course, you can customize your watch and get whichever band you like. I think these sports band are a great place to start, especially if you've never bought an Apple Watch before. I find the sports bands to be incredibly versatile, both in terms of design, but also feel, as they're comfortable to wear all day, but also during a workout. And then with their silicone material, they're actually very easy to clean as well, which is great. So let's go ahead and take this out of the box here. And there we go, Apple Watch. Go ahead and fold this open. And here we go. So we have the instructions for how to apply the band. Now, one of the nice things about the Apple Watch is the band mechanism has remained the same over the years. So there's a huge library of both first as well as third-party bands to choose from. So let's go ahead and take out all the pieces here. So the sports band here comes in 3 pieces. There we go. As you can see, we get the top piece here, which will include the actual buckle itself. And then we have the lower piece, which will come in two sizes. So there's a small to medium as well as a medium to large size. Now, depending on your wrist size, of course, one will be better than the other. One thing that is interesting is that the Apple Watch SE does now come with the midnight sports band, whereas the Series 3, of course, came with the black sports band, which also came in space gray, as you can see right here. So unlike the Series 7, which will come in the midnight color and pairing with the midnight sports band, you get both colors here. So you get the midnight on the band as well as the space gray on the watch. And as you can see, the two do pair very, very well. You get these slight bluish undertones in the sports band, and then we get these grayish undertones on the Apple Watch, and the two pair very well. So let's go ahead and insert the bands here. Now, as someone who is left-handed, I wear my watch on my right wrist here. So what I'm going to do is take the shorter end and put that on the top of the watch. And I actually orient the watch to sit on my wrist like so, with the digital crown on the lower left of the watch case here. And this makes it easier to access the digital crown rather than blocking the screen as I would if it were on the top right corner. So as like with all Apple Watch bands, all you have to do is simply slide them in from the side, and then they will click into place and really lock into place very firmly. In the meantime here, let's go ahead and power up the watch. Go ahead and press and hold the side button here. And there we have the Apple logo as it comes to life. And then we'll go ahead and apply the second half of the band here. There we go. That also snaps right into place and looks and feels really, really great. And then on the back here, we have, of course, that array of sensors. The Apple Watch SE features so many of those core Apple Watch features. So it first of all has this nice 40mm, more rounded display, more rounded in terms of the corners. And this will make it look a lot more modern compared to, say, the Series 3 and more on par with something like the Series 7. At the same time though, while the SE definitely has thinner bezels compared to the Series 3, they are not as thin as on the Series 7. So this is something that will definitely differentiate the two. But the biggest difference in terms of display really is that the Series 7 has that always on display, whereas the SE does not. But of course, again, comes in at a much more compelling price. Be sure to subscribe for my full review, as well as a more in-depth comparison between the Apple Watch SE as well as the Series 7. I plan to do a full buyer's guide to answer any questions that you may have. Now, additionally, the Apple Watch SE is powered by Apple's S5 chip, and this is a very powerful processor that is also much more modern compared to the processor found in the Series 3, and this will mean that it will get more support for more years. Of course, not as many as the Series 7, but I expect to get at least 3 more years of software updates and new watchOS features with the Apple Watch SE. Of course, for sports and swimming, the Apple Watch SE is also water resistant for up to 50 meters and also has continuous heart rate monitoring with high and low heart rate notifications. It also comes with fall detection, noise monitoring, and as well as retaining that full 18-hour battery life that I've really come to expect and enjoy on every Apple Watch that I've owned so far. Just going to quickly do a bit of a comparison here between the Series 7 and the Series 3. Again, I have a more in-depth video coming, but this is just to give you an idea for the size. So the Series 7 here comes with the 41mm display, whereas the SE has a 40mm display. And you can see that the watch cases are pretty much the same size. Perhaps the Series 7 is just ever so slightly bigger, but the biggest difference in display being that 1mm larger on the Series 7, more comes down to the thinner bezels that are featured on the Series 7, allowing that display to be pushed out just a little bit more further. But again, comparing the SE to the previous Series 3, the display is much more akin to the Series 7. Having those rounded corners, thinner bezels, just makes the watch look and feel much more modern. And again here, just to give you a side-by-side comparison, you can see we have the midnight blue on the Series 7 and then the space gray on the SE. And you can see there's quite a difference in the color, although from afar they both look very dark and will be hard to tell apart. It is only really when you have them side by side under a studio light that this difference becomes more apparent. Of all the features though that the Apple Watch SE offers, when it comes to using the Apple Watch, I found myself actually enjoying the more underrated features the most. So this includes things like seeing notifications on my watch, using maps for turn-by-turn directions, Siri, Apple Pay, as well as the activity rings. all make the watch really fantastic and worth having for me, and really something that I enjoy having every day. So wearing the watch on the wrist here, that silicone band feels very familiar and comfortable on the wrist. And then in terms of its weight as well as its size, it feels very similar compared to the Series 7. Definitely also thinner compared to the Series 3. This is something I do notice on the wrist. Having that lower profile means it will look a little bit less bulky on the wrist as well. So that gives you a look at my first impressions of the Apple Watch SE. I can't wait to start testing and using the watch, as well as comparing it to the Series 3 as well as the Series 7. Be sure to subscribe for more Apple Watch content coming very soon. Let me know if you have any questions. In the meantime, I highly suggest watching my Series 7 and Series 3 reviews. Thanks for watching and take care.